What is going on, everyone? My name's Boyd, and I am joined with one of the most handsome looking Asian mythology personalities in the
Yes.
entire world. His name is Chrono JJ, sporting at the top of the map in the blue color play as Isis. His name is Joe's opponent today, also playing as Isis. His name is Kimo. The map is Anatolia. Joe's up 1-0 in this best of five and for the Bill Gregg Open. I'm excited. Are you excited, Chrono
Get your
JJ?
breath. I'm excited, but maybe not quite as much as you. You can hardly breathe over there. Hopefully, we'll see a little bit more in this game from Kimo than the last game. Though Kimo is going ISIS, and Joe obviously also ISIS, and ISIS is Joe's main. Kimo's main primarily is Ra.
Mm-hmm.
Just in the head-to-head, I'd give Joe the edge here just based on experience. So
Yep,
we'll
yep.
see what happens.
I mean, Anatolia is it's the map which everybody says is ISIS's best map, and as potentially Anatolia the best god for Anatolia is potentially Isis. All that being said, Zeus works really well on this map. Poseidon works really well on this map. We've seen some Norse do good things on this map as well. So I don't think it's as cut as dry anymore that ISIS just wins. So I'm a bit not fully sure about the thought process here behind it for this one from Kimo here. We all expect Joe to go ISIS. He's the Egyptian man. Kimo plays more gods than Joe. Would have expected to see him pull something out from his bag of tricks, but no tricks today.
Well, no, we'll see if he has any tricks in the game. But yeah, not. I mean, one trick he is doing right now is he's eating his chicken instead of his boar, which is not good because the boar you
Mm.
gather food from them so much faster.
Yeah, you can go if you're on the boar, you can go four villages on the boar and create and have constant villager production. But if you're on the chicken, you need to have five villagers on the chicken, and maybe even you also need the pharaoh to empower the food. It just means you get less wood and get less fishing ships out, and fishing ships are really
Yeah,
important, man.
the starting boar might have just been out of line of sight, I think maybe at the start. I'm not sure. I paying super attention. They could have been just
Could be
out of line of sight, which could have
really
kind of
close, really close.
contributed. But we do see Kimo docking on the top and Joe putting two docks on the bottom.
Yeah, I've never liked this play from Joe. I've seen him do it a couple of times. He's basically just trying to steal three fish here from Kimo, or steal one fish, or steal two fish by docking two times on the bottom. But if you don't get any of these fish, which it looks like he's actually not going to get, it's just inefficient because you get your nine fishing ships out and you can't build any more fish over there. We are seeing that third dock coming up before the temple from Joe though, so he's going to be advancing really late here and trying to snag up the 18 fish before he advances. I think that'll be something similar than what Kimo does here as well.
Yeah, when you're Egyptian versus Egyptian, there's generally not much of a point to advance that early. You'll see what we've got going on here is docks and all the fish, get all the fish upgrade. Not get the fish upgrade, but get every single fishing spot
Mm.
full of fish, and then you age up like at 540 or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. I think there is a build order that gets you up at 530 with the 18 fish, uh, but it's very tight, and you have to know exactly what you're doing, and it doesn't happen when you go double dock on the bottom side. You have to go one dock on the bottom, one dock at the top, and then you build the next docks later in the game. But I mean, it's not going to be that big of a deal. It's only going to be a couple of seconds difference, so all good for Joe. I think we are going to probably just see this be a really slow map or matchup here. We're not going to. I doubt we'll see fast heroics here. I think we're just going to see early second town center grabs, potentially three town center grabs, and maybe a small amount of cabinets. Other than that, it's going to be a slow one until we're fighting for the middle town centers, which are quite close to
I,
each other.
I I wouldn't be surprised to see a fast heroic.
Really?
No, I because the center is so important. I could see going forward and maybe grabbing a forward town center and aging up at like 930. But I could also see just a straight one town center age up, because if one ISIS gets control of the middle and builds a settlement, and then like a Migdal close to the other settlement, he can kind of prevent the other one from ever getting that forward town center.
Alrighty then. So all you say is correct. The other option we have here, which is another thing that sometimes actually does look like Joe is going for that fast heroic. The other option is to build like 8 cabinets, and you go and you get up and you advance to the heroic age at about the 8-minute mark. You get Percine, you build 8 cabinets, you get an armory straight away. And you just build villages to gold straight away, and you advance at the 8-minute mark. You have 8 cabinets, and you can just go from there. And you do basically push off some fish, which can be fairly important because of how big building war elephants are here. And there's the armory up for Joe. You were very correct. We do see a fast heroic from Joe.
Yeah, I think Kimo will be doing the same thing, just slower. Yeah, to me, fast heroic is kind of king here. That's my opinion on the matter.
Right. Well, we're seeing Kimo do the standard ISIS play here, which is build the eight or so cabinets and then advance to the heroic age. He'll be up in about 20 to 30 seconds, or 30 seconds to a minute, and then he'll have to be playing a little bit from behind on the land because the Migdal stronghold will come up.
See, the other reason I like the fast heroic is ISIS here is that you get a Leviathan when you age, and that's super. It tanks so much damage. I mean, and it does pretty good damage too. So I mean, if he's getting that Leviathan out 30 seconds faster, to me the value is there to rush to the heroic.
Yeah. This build from Kimo is definitely more of a against Greek and Norse and Atlantean kind of thing, I think.
Because it looks like Joe's gonna come forward.
Yeah, it's gonna be about 50-second difference on that heroic age, which is gonna be huge.
Yeah, that's too slow.
And going for the town center first is, I guess you go for the town center and then maybe try and get the Migdal stronghold up on the other town center, and you'd be okay. Get your Leviathan spawned out.
I mean,
fish away.
That's what I'd do if I were the first one to advance. Well, it could go either way. It'd be nice if his pharaoh actually empowered the town center.
Yeah.
But
not pushing the idle military button there, Joe. It's a very important button. Oh, and he's going to pick off that Sphinx as well. That's kind of big.
It is.
I definitely prefer to chuck the Migdal up first, get out some chariot archers, and then go for the other town center. But Joe's opting for this one, so we'll see if it works for him or not.
I mean, he can kind of afford to do it because of how much faster he's advancing. I mean, he should be putting up this Migdal now.
Yeah, must not have gold yet. Oh, he does have. Oh, he doesn't have favor. His monument went up too late. He's only on 9 favor.
Oh, that's why. Okay, that makes more sense then. That's probably why you put the settlement up first.
Yeah. Mistakes.
But Kimo only has 7. Oh no, he's making his other Migdal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's really important now that we don't build too many chariot archers here, because war elephants are super strong. So sometimes I see people actually building up a barracks in this situation just to build out a couple of slingers to go with their war elephants, but you don't build out too many. It's just like as a safety, because your war elephants take so long to build, just in case your opponent masses chariots. And we are seeing Kimo making. It looked like he was making chariot archers, but he stopped making them.
See, Kimo's grabbing his back town center again. He actually would probably. Oh, now is he getting his front one too?
This is greedy. This is super greedy. He's going for the 3 town centers here. He's gonna have to get the first Ancestors Eclipse off. That's gonna be the big thing, and there's already 9 Priest here.
It's gonna be so useless though.
Yeah, he gets it off. That forces Joe back. But like you say, like as soon as he decides, I mean, Joe could just turn around and just nuke these units. He picks off the Scorpion Man instantly, and then the Ancestors decide to make way, and they're going to look for some villages somewhere else away from the Priest, but there's not really anywhere for them to run. Maybe there is. Run us this gold mine. Joe's Priest are kind of out of position, but it's okay.
Kimo is really behind on the military production, and he's getting absolutely no value out of his Ancestors Eclipse. Like nothing.
Yeah, he's gonna have to get out another 5 or 6 priests in order to fight off this push. And then not only that, he's also got the Chariot Archers, which are not going to be able to defend his units at all. Like, well, he's not going to be able to do any damage against the War Elephants because they have the 40% pierce armor. So when this push comes in for Joe, this town center's going down for sure.
Kimo has a ton of resources, but he's not making elephants. That's a big mistake.
Yeah, now he's making out some cavalry as well.
Oh,
he's chucking up buildings to help him out, but I think these aren't going to last very long. There's 2 siege towers. There's 5 War Elephants. And Ancestor Eclipse comes down. And here comes the push.
The camel's the wrong unit here.
Oh, yeah, the camel are going to get shredded by the Priest and the Pharaoh and the Chariot Archers after the Ancestors. Well, yeah, and then everything else is just going to tank and do damage to this town center. It's going to hurt. Ouch, this is a huge fight here, and we've also got the Scorpion Man and Priest for some reason on the back line of the army, you know, just dodging arrow fire from the Priests. Or I should say rock fire.
Yeah. Oh man, the Pharaoh, Joe needs to target the Pharaoh with like a priest so he doesn't empower, but town center's still gonna go down.
Yeah, town center's down at 12 minutes into the game. Joe's gonna push through this. He's gonna get control of this town center. He's already got his back town center up, so it's gonna be 4 town centers to 2 town centers. Joe's economy is gigantic right now. So moving in and showing Kimo who's boss here.
Yeah, Kimo is just way too slow to make an army. Like he has 1,000 food and 700 gold, and his Migdal was idle trying to build a chariot that he didn't have wood for. And
yeah, this is just classic. It's kind of just classic Egyptian inexperience. You need to build more than one Migdal stronghold here. And in fact, and Joe's done that. That's why he's got so many units. Like you can't just sit one Migdal stronghold and expect to be able to make units.
Yeah, because Kimo's got 2,200 resources in the bank.
Yeah, he was probably trying to get to the Mythic Age or something. Sometimes rushing Mythic Age here and then casting like a meteor onto, or getting up Son of Osiris to counter the Ancestors is a way to go, but it's just too slow. Keeps trying to get his Migdal stronghold back up, but there's already a Scorpion Man and Sphinx over here, just picking those guys off. It hurts. It hurts.
If Joe can get this town center up, it's basically over at that point.
Yeah, and Kimo's gonna tap out here as he's realized he's lost too many villages, got no army left, has no Migdal stronghold, loses his foothold on that Ford gold mine and his town center. It's gonna be lights out. He's got no gold left in the base as well as his home gold mine expires. So completely GG there. Really strong timing push by Joe.
Yeah, man. So the question in the chat, why did he waste Ancestors like that, Kimo? He had to be the one to cast Ancestors Eclipse first, or he would not. His town center would have gone down earlier. So Kimo had to use it first to get the town center, but he got no value out of it. All it was basically like kind of like a ceasefire in a way. It gave
Yeah.
30 seconds to grab his town center, but then you're right on the counter push. Then you have Joe with the Ancestors Eclipse and the bigger army.
Yeah, I think if Kimo had just gone for that forward town center instead of the back town center, still had to use Ancestors Eclipse, but while he did that, had the ceasefire, went for his Mythic Age, get Cyrus out, then he'd be able to defend against that push that comes back in, and actually would have been in a pretty good spot, I think.
I don't think you can. I don't think you can hold after spending 2k resources on Mythic Age if the other Egyptian pushes like that.
Or you sit in this little alcove here. You have your Son of Osiris kill off all the ancestors instantly. You're probably going to lose your town center, but you pick off so much of his stuff, and then you make a push backwards, and you still have that second medium gold mine to fall back on. You have Mythic Age spike to push back. At least you've not like full on lost the game.
But what I'm saying is, I don't think you can get to Mythic and get Osiris before that push comes.
Well, you have the minute in Ancestors Eclipse to advance. Like, you have the resources, that's all I'm saying. Like, if you didn't build a second town center, you had the resources to advance. The other option would have been to just build a second Migdol stronghold instead of the second town center. If you build the second, then that push doesn't work either, I suppose. It's a much cheaper way to stop the push.
Yeah, let's take a look at the post game, I guess. I think Kimo was pretty much neck and neck he was as far as economy and civilians. It was just the military units. Just
Yep. Yeah. Chose to make chariot archers. Well, 20 chariot archers versus 14. So it was just no real elephants. Wasting ancestors, not building a second Migdol.
Yeah, because he couldn't push with Ancestors because he didn't have an army at that time, and so they ended up just being wasted. And then Joe got his Ancestors with his push, and that was kind of it right there.
Yes.
And it kind of goes to that just a slower advance made Kimo, or kind of forced Kimo to have to do that because he needed Ancestors Eclipse to try to get his forward town center. Because we're looking at, what was it, a 737, which that's a really good time compared to an 827, which probably in normal games versus most players, the 827 would work fine, but not against Mr. Joe.
Nope.
Obviously not.
Obviously not. All right, let's move on to game number 3.